All right. Thanks so much, Alan. May we know what your role is on Metapool? What do you do, just so that we can have a background information of you?
Sure, sure. Well, I'm Alan. You can mention me on Discord server of Metapool. We are there as admin. But we came from the development team starting like at June. At June, we were previously to the launchment on mainnet. So we were working on the process to put and set up everything ready for having it on mainnet. We work in the deployment in mainnet of Metapool and when it was first launched. And now we are here collaborating to the growing ecosystem that is Metapool. So yes, development team in a close approach.
Oh, that's nice. So you're part of the development team. Okay. So we were just discussing the article that you published about 2 hours ago that the meta tokens will be unlocking in an hour. I assume that since article was 2 hours ago, it would have already been unlocked, more or less.
Yes, I don't know if everybody here knows about the locking the lock mechanism that have meta tokens. So when we first launched the meta pool application, we had a community launchment of tokens. We have big multipliers for all the community. So in fact, the meta token is a token that is a reward or a grant for the community for participating. So the resume is that you can have meta tokens with staking and staking being liquidity provider. You got meta tokens. If you were in the first weeks of Metapool, you had big multiplier for this token, so you can win a big amount of tokens in the past. But these tokens were not able to be transferred to another wallet. What this means that 4 months ago we had the tokens to in our wallets. So I have some tokens that I win doing staking and staking, and I will not able to transfer. I will not able to do some selling of these tokens. Why was this done? Because we want to protect the community of having a big whale moving all these tons of tokens and playing with the community. So we will lock this token for 4 months. So now today, 4 months later, that we know what is Metapool, and if you don't know what is Metapool, is the second financial application more important in NEAR, evaluating the total value lock of NEAR. It have staked. I can say that it was close to 3 million NEAR tokens in their application. So now we can use the meta tokens. I almost in minutes ago of connecting to this meeting, I was testing if that transaction can be done of transferring meta token, and now it is done. So now you can use your meta tokens. Now you can transfer it to anybody that you want, and it's viable to now to done. If you know Rep Finance, you know this decentralized finance protocol. Now we can do an exchange of meta tokens with NEAR tokens or any kind of pair that you want. So now that community can give a value. It's a total open market position. We don't define the price. It's the own community and the own market that defines the price of meta tokens.
So as of the moment, correct me if I'm wrong, is how I understood it. Meta tokens now have value as of the moment.
No can be defined. No can be defined. It was unlocked 1 hour ago. You know,
Yes.
the market can go up and can go down, but now you can have a value. How it is the value
Oh,
defined?
okay.
As any token is defined, how much is the people how much the people wants to pay for a token. So now can we define a value for meta tokens?
Oh, that's nice. All right. So thanks for that update. So somebody's asking, is it a fixed value? I understand it's not a fixed value. It's going to be the community that defines it, correct?
No, I want to tell you. I will share you.
Oh yeah, sure. Please go ahead. Please,
Uh,
if you can share a visual. Yes.
uh, okay. No, I was sharing by text, but anyway, so I will share it. It's by here it is. Share it. So now you can look at my screen.
Yes, we can see. We can see.
Okay. So here is a landing page of Metapool, and you can look at here with. Um, there is a paper called tokenomics. Tokenomics. Here is it. So if you haven't looked at this paper, it is very important if you want to know how it will define or how it will move the market around Metapool about this. So uh, meta tokens were generated by the community, but there is still pending releases of meta tokens. So there is no fixed value because there is a fixed quantity that hasn't been released yet with all the people that wants to participate. So there will be more meta tokens that will be moved here based on the tokenomics. There is a full theory of how will be the token releasement be done so that the value of these tokens are safe and the community can feel safe of being using meta tokens. So you can look at this paper, you can look at the amount, the total quantity, you can look how many tokens those the development team have, how much the advisor of Metapool have, and how much there are pending of subscribed tokens. So you can look at all these economics about the token meta. Yeah, this is a very important paper because there were many people working on this and looking at that it was safe to the whole community to be using meta tokens. So here is it. Here's it's public. It's published and it's part of the code of the smart contract of Metapool. So no fixed price. What price we don't know. That defines the community. We can have some predictions. And at my point, I'm not. I don't have the exact detail, but that will yeah that will be something that in a couple days you will see that how much is the people wanting to pay for a meta token.
I see. Thank you for sharing that with us, Sir Alan. So, for those who are interested in knowing the price of the meta or the value of the meta token, I guess you can check it over at Ref Finance. Is that correct, Sir
Yeah, it's
Alan? Yes, Ref Finance.
refinance will be the place where we'll assist the pair of
Yes,
meta
yes.
tokens. So just we have to wait the announcement of refinance of how they will have these pairs working, and there you will see how much are these token value.
Okay. Right now, I'm checking Ref Finance, and so far, I guess Meta token isn't listed yet. But yeah, I guess in the coming days it will be, and then we can, for all of those who are interested in, the price of Meta token, you can check it out there. So thank you for giving us that update, Sir Alan. We have compiled a number of questions from the community. Uh, but I guess for the benefit of those who are really not familiar with Metapool, maybe you can just give us a very short summary of what it is. What is Metapool in maybe simple wordings so that people can
Oh,
understand? Yeah.
so I will try to do it
Yes,
simple,
yes,
but
please do. Yes, yes.
yes. Um, what is Metapool? Metapool is a staking mechanism built over NIR protocol that it delegates your tokens uh, to the highly efficient best performance validators through the NIR network. What does this mean? We have the classic staking that we have on the NIR wallet. On the NIR wallet, you can take your tokens, your NIR tokens, and stake them in a single validator. But in Metapool, we want to decrease the risk distributing your tokens through many validators, a high performance validator with low fees and that doesn't and that don't centralize the the the, the staking on the protocol. This is a very technical concept, but it helps to decentralize the new protocol. And when you stake your NIRS in Metapool, you receive a collateral. That means that you can still use the STNIR token that you receive for being in the decentralized finance ecosystem. So in the single validator, you give your tokens and they start paying you, and that's it. And you cannot do anything. In Metapool, you stake your tokens and you receive a collateral that is winning rewards from all the amount of tokens being staked. Every time, every epoch, the estimate increases its price. So you can use it in other pairs as in Rep Finance to use it. There is some very important initiatives in some other D apps for use estimate. So it's a pair that you can still use while winning rewards in staking.
Mm.
And I think that that's it. I don't know if that it's simple enough, but it's a first step on
Yes.
the DeFi ecosystem.
All right. Thank you for that very simple explanation, Sir Alan. So basically, you put in your near tokens into the Metapool ecosystem, and then you get ST near as a reward or as a collateral. I mean, yes. And then as long as your near is in that, in the Metapool ecosystem, you get rewards, right? You generate rewards over time.
Yes, that's true. And there is another important thing that I didn't mention.
Yes,
Uh,
please.
you have your NIR. You use Metapool, stake your NIR, receive STNIR. Now you have STNIR and I want to take back my NIR tokens. You can do the swap. You can swap with the liquidity pool that we have to have this STNIR giving to have this STNIR back to NIR tokens. That's the liquidity pool. That's we call a meta pool because we have this pool where people it's adding liquidity and there is people taking back their STNIR tokens to receive NIR tokens. That's another important thing. What is the difference with classic staking or the normal staking in Near Wallet? In Near Wallet, you have to wait the normal period of 4 epochs.
Four
That
epochs.
is
That's
close
right.
to 72 hours. That can be that can move, but 4 epochs.
So
12
that's
for
about 3 days. 3 days that you have
yes,
to wait.
3 days.
So you cannot move
You
your
you
near tokens.
no, you do on staking, and you will wait all this period to have your tokens back. For
Mm,
some people, that's good. For take your savings safe, but for some people that wants to have liquidity in the moment, that's bad. So in Metapool, you can take your estimators, go to the swap pool that it's on stake, liquid on stake, and take your tokens back at the moment that you want because we have this liquidity pool. So I think that's the other
the
future very important
advantage.
of Metapool.
Yes. So I think that leads us to our first community question here. Somebody gave this to me. So let's say he staked near on Metapool, let's say for 3 months. By the time he retrieves his near back, let's say he after 3 months he wanted to take back or swap his ST near for near. Will the value of his near have increased by that 3 month period?
No, then yes and no.
Yes.
Then the new
Okay.
prices is the same. You know
Yes. Yes.
this can move on USD, but you will have a price for new. What it is moving is the price of STNIR.
ST near.
STNIR is accruing the rewards that are being added over the staking protocol. So I have my NIR. I stake my NIRs. I take back my STNIRs. So I now have STNIRs. Metapool is increasing the value of STNIR. Why? Because Metapool is staking your NIRs and it's accruing the value that have now STNIR. So at the first moment that Metapool was launched, it was a pair, one NIR, one STNIR.
Hmm.
and then you have it. At the end of the first epoch, the price of STNIR increases because we were winning the rewards of staking all these NIR tokens. And this has been happens all the past 4 months and will be happening all the future of Metapool. So every time in the future, the STNIR price will increase. So after 4 months, if you have your STNIR and you want to take back your NIR tokens, you will win more NIR
More near
tokens
tokens.
because the price of STNIR increased.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
I think that was a very
I'm
clear
clear.
explanation. Yes, I understood it. So I hope you guys understood it as well. So when they began,
And feel free to ask anything.
yes, yes. So I'm just clarifying. So when they began, when you guys started Metapool, ST near and near value, same, 1:1. But over time, over those 4 month periods, the value of ST near increased. So it's no longer 1 near is equal to 1 ST near. Maybe 1 near is equal to 3 or 4 ST near. So yeah, you're getting value just by putting your near tokens in Metapool. All right. So you mentioned liquidity, right? Because liquidity plays an important factor in this, of course, Metapool. So this second question is, how safe is my near if the liquidity is low?
How safe is my
How safe
NIR
is
if the
my near
liquid?
if his liquidity is
Okay, okay,
low?
okay, okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
I
That's
think
the
that
user's question.
that this means that we're building an history, so I think that's more easy. So I have my NIR, I stake, I got this NIR, I want to take back my tokens, so I go to the liquidity pool, I use my STNIRs, and I take back my NIR tokens by taking some of the liquidity pool. What happens if this liquidity pool is too low? I think
Yes,
that
yes. I think that's the
a
question. That's the question he wants to ask.
I have
Yeah.
100 STNIR and the liquidity pool uh, have 20 NIRs just in liquidity.
Hmm.
So it is still safe. Why? Because we have not only the liquidity pool, we have a delay on stake mechanism. What does this mean? I have my STNIR. I want to take back my NIR tokens. These tokens are there. We are non-custodial. We are not custodying any tokens. So you can pull the crank. I mean, you can go and say, I want to do delay on a stake. And you will go and take this in the normal long period process of 3 days and take back your NIR tokens, and the STNIR tokens will be born. So I think that's the answer to feel safe on this. Even if there is no liquidity, we can think liquidity zero. You can still use another mechanism to take your tokens back,
I
and
see.
it's logical to have you will the pool always will have the tokens that you will be having. Metapool always will be winning more tokens. There will never be a deficit on tokens.
I see. That's reassuring. Because I think, yeah, with the liquidity pool is really dependent on what people put into it, right? So I guess, yeah, it's a risk, less risk, a risk, not, it's safer, you can say. So, uh, I guess this is a more of a, uh, kind of this question this other person asked. Let's say a validator decides, he goes rogue. He decides to like take for himself or exit, especially the big validators. So who is going to maybe shoulder the losses of the
And
validator,
what um, I think sorry.
It's
Um,
okay, it's okay.
yes, I don't have water, but anyways, we are taking in consideration that the validators uh, are safe to be delegating tokens. Even I think that validators you can recover your tokens that are non-custodial, so you can take back your tokens because when in the normal staking you have your tokens, you don't have a big amount of tokens to be a validator. So what you do is delegate. This delegation helps the validators to do to validate and being chosen by the near network to be working. But in any moment, you can take back your tokens. I think that that's the basic mechanism, but that's something more oriented to the single validator, and you can look at the
Mm-hmm.
contract of the validator. But talking precisely over Metapool, we have a checklist of what needs a validator to be picked to Metapool. What it needs to be 95% of uptime. That's mean a high performance that it never have
Never
or
idle.
almost have no downtimes.
Mm.
Low fees. It means a fee of 10% of minor. That means that we are always winning of the best validators. It is down the Nakamoto coefficient. If you don't know the Nakamoto coefficient, you can Google a bit about that. That means that we are using a proof of staking. NEAR is a proof of staking protocol. So we need to stake tokens to validate transactions. But as there is no as we can think, if we have a big validator with a big amount of tokens, that's a risk for the network. We need to distribute these tokens to those validators, and more when they are below the Nakamoto coefficient. The Nakamoto coefficient is a line that tells you where are the highest holders on tokens. So we don't delegate to the highest players on this. We don't delegate to the highest holders. We go below the Nakamoto coefficient to have the network to be decentralized. And the last one of these is to be over the seed price. The seed price is the amount of tokens that you need to be a validator on NEAR. So if there is a validator that is below the seed price, we didn't pick that validator. We need to be below the Nakamoto coefficient to don't be centralized, and above the seed price to be a player on validators and the best performance on this validator. So I think that is what that can be the answer to this question. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
it is good enough. If if you want, you can ask me.
Yes. All right. So again, thank you for that. Technical terms, we can look it up. All right.
Yes, many of these are some technical concept, but is a way to explain this.
Right, right. Okay. So guys, to whoever is here tonight, who might be interested or who have tried, staking on Metapool, maybe if you have your own set of questions that you want to ask Sir Alan, please feel free. I know some of you have questions here, especially on staking on Metapool. So feel free to ask questions. I think
I
Sir.
think that it's important to mention if somebody have a question,
Oh
please
yeah,
raise
sure.
it. Meanwhile, we can uh, we can be talking about what is coming for Metapool. So right now it's as you read in the article, we are it is Metapool is working with Own Finance to launch an stable coin.
A
So I
stable
think that
coin.
I don't know if you know what a stable coin is, but
Mm,
a stable coin is basically a pair with a
real
bank
world
currency
real world currency.
as
Yeah.
yeah, with the USD. It's a pair with the USD.
Mm,
So this will help for people that wants to okay, yes, I can take a risk on the blockchain ecosystem, but also I want to be saving some of this money in the ordinary money. So I will take this to a stable coin. This is very interesting because in other protocols, Binance and all of this, they have these stable coins. What is happening is that the people is not turning back their money into the banker ecosystem. They move this money to the stable coins to save their money, but they are not taking back the money to the banks. They are returning this money to a pair of these American dollars, but there is no return to the bank ecosystem. So this can help you guys if you have some STNIR, you have some meta tokens, and you say, hey, I want to save this for my children, for my for my granddaughter,
Ooh.
some kind of that. I will save this on USD. A part of my money will be saved on a stable coin. So I think uh, that's very interesting for the community. Also in the interface, if you didn't look to the interface in the last couple of days, we are operating the APY announcement that have the interface. We has the team has done some calculations about the APY that is being done from the tools of Metapool, and you can use this to know how much you will win of rewards in these coming days. Here, Twinblades and Andrew Mafra stable coins, yes,
Yes.
USDT, USDC, BUSD, almost anything that have USD and some other letter, we will have USDO, USDO, we will have. So anything of that will have a pair with USD. But what better than in near protocol that we have low fees and we have fast transactions and we don't have to pay
Yes.
high fees for high gas fees for anything. So it's very nice to have this now in a project for Metapool
Yeah, I'm really looking forward
and
to
the
it.
new protocol.
Yeah, so just to recap, guys, to what Alan said, Metapool is launching its own stablecoin, so you can take advantage of that. We know that crypto is very volatile; prices can change. So if you want to secure maybe your investments or a part of your investments, you can swap your ST near into stablecoin once it launches, of course. Looking forward to that. Oh, yes, we have one. Somebody just sent me a private message. What's the difference between Metapool and Refinance? I think that's a kind of a uh yeah.
No, all questions are good questions.
Yes. All right. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
uh,
Interesting question.
Refinance is a decentralized finance ecosystem. What this means, it have swaps, it have pools, it have many, it's more to the movement of values over the near ecosystem. You can have a one token and you can have a pool and you can move it and you can buy some tokens that you don't have and you can play with the market and all these kind of things. That what is refinance. What is Metapool is a tool for staking tokens. That was the main concept that we have. So what was the first concept? Hey, in NIR, we have a classic staking, and we have to wait 72 hours, 3 days, 4 days, something that arranged by that. And that's what we have. When Metapool comes, the idea was, hey, we can do a pool where the people can stake their tokens, have a collateral, and we still can have our tokens back in any moment. It's more an staking mechanism than an finance mechanism that is refinance.
Mhm.
What will be in the future? We don't know. That's maybe it's a good idea. We are working step by step, doing some announcement. We are also hearing the community on what Metapools want the community to be in the future. So this is what we have. In the future, we will hear the community, we will hear the advisor, we will hear the people, and this has to be a success for everybody, and we need the ideas of everybody to be this kind of successful.
All right. Thank you. Any more questions, guys, that you want to ask? Don't be shy. Feel free to ask questions. Uh, we have a few more minutes. When you stake your nears, which one of these should we choose? Near web wallet or NAR wallet? So that's one of our
Um, 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 any one of these, where you have your tokens. So that's you can use Near Web Wallet or NAR Wallet. NAR Wallet was a project developed by the lead tech developer of Metapool, that is Lucio. Lucio developed NAR wallet. It's something similar to the, it's alternative to MetaMask in the near ecosystem. So NAR wallet, you can use it if you have your tokens there, and that's totally fine. If you want to use near web wallet, it's also totally fine. So it's up to you where you are holding your tokens and where you want to delegate these tokens to use it. And any one of these. Me personally, I use near web wallet, but it's just because I wanted to. There is no advantage of using one over or.
All right. Thank you. There's another one. Uh,
There is always be a risk in every investment. Sure, it is, and we want to be very clear over this. There is risk on delegating my tokens in Metapool. Yes, almost. We can say there is risk using blockchain, using
yes.
cryptos. Totally,
Mm-hmm.
totally. Tomorrow we can be on zero. I don't know, but it's one of many possible uh, scenarios that we can have on the future. So there is risk, but what you have to do and don't do in staking. I think that Metapool is an audited contract, so to be as safer as it can in the ecosystem. What I think you need to be aware is of your own security on blockchain. And it is for general for all the blockchain ecosystem. So we have a phrase that is your keys, your money. You don't have your keys, you don't have your money. Somebody else have your keys, somebody else have your money. So when you do a near wallet, you have a passphrase that you can say, and there you can with that you can start interacting with the Metapool. So I think that start saving this passphrase very well, and that can be useful. Though as there is another risk very important that is in all the blockchain ecosystem, that is the scam. So don't trust any link on Twitter. There is a lot of people moving on Twitter saying, "Hey, Elon Musk told me that I have to send uh, $100 to somebody, and they will give me that double in a transaction, and it's totally an scam." So be aware of what the people is um, is doing with the money. Whether the real the official announcement that we have. I think that's what I want to say. The official announcement to know what is happening and what is real. In doing staking, I think that there is no major risk as an investor. Maybe I just will advise you to learn. We have a lot of information in the tokenomics paper. We have also a lot of information in Medium, and you can learn more about that. I think that's the last part of that is risky about this. People that doesn't know what they are doing, and that's why we are here. We are all learning. But people that doesn't want to learn and doesn't and just want to say, hey, I put my money and I don't know what is happening with my money. I think that's a very risky thing that you can do. Learn, we are a community that is almost 24/7 on the Discord server at this point. We are still a small team, but we are working very hard. So you can learn more about this. So
Mm,
I think that I can mention about those in the risk of investment in Metapool.
yes. Do your research. I think that's what the main point is. You have to know what you're getting into. Yes, that's very true. Thank you, Sir Alan. Any more questions, guys? Um, so this one, I think she sent this to me, but I think this was answered basically. She's asking if she stakes, let's say, 20 near. Uh, the value, something will go up, but the one that will go up is not necessarily near's value. The rewards you'll be getting is in ST near, right? So you mentioned that earlier. So ST near's value will be the one going up. Near's value, of course, it goes up and goes down. But basically the rewards you're getting in ST near, yeah, that
Uh,
value will.
Okay, yes, just to be clear, when you stake, you win rewards in NIR tokens. And that's what you are winning. When you have a single validator and you put your token, you have 100 tokens, and this will start paying small amounts of NIR tokens. And this is what are accrued in the STNIR. So we can look at the open market, at the market price that have NIR, and you can do a calculation of how this is in USD or euros or anything of that. But just to be clear, what the protocol is winning is NIR tokens. How much is APY? It is based on NIR tokens. That's not, the calculus is not based on any fiat coin. So you will what you are looking is a totally decentralized theory of how are you winning tokens. So if what can happen tomorrow, I don't know, if I hope, if NIR prices increase to 100 USD, I don't know, that will not modify what are you winning in rewards. You will start winning your rewards in NIR tokens. If that for fiat ecosystem it's more, that's up to the fiat ecosystem. That doesn't affect the work of Metapool, even if it is a zero price, or it can be, you will start winning these rewards. So that's the method it works. And again, the tokenomics have many information about this. If you want to go deeper, I know we're talking here just a couple of minutes. If you want to go that deeper, you can look at tokenomics.
All right. Thank you for that, Alan. Yeah, I'll be linking to you guys the tokenomics, the article, the paper that Alan shared with us, so that you can, if even after this AMA session is over, you can do your research, try to read and understand Metapool's tokenomics, so that you can have your own informed understanding of the tokenomic, the things surrounding the meta token. So any last question, guys? Metapool is running to become a DAO. So you got
wow,
any
a very
updates?
good question.
Yeah, all right. Yes, please update us. I think this is more of an update rather than
yes. When in the phase one of Metapool, Metapool is a decentralized contract. So it have a lock mechanism where nobody have keys to update this contract. Nobody. But we have a method where we can operate this contract through a DAO. So in the first phase, we have a DAO that was composed by NAR Wallets, NIR Hispano, and Blaze. I don't remember the name
it's
of the
okay. It's
organization of
okay.
Blaze, but it's Blaze. Sorry, Blaze, if you hear this, but it's Blaze there, the same of Cheddar and this project. So these people have the control over the DAO at this moment for Metapool, but it will be moved to a Sputnik version 2, and the
AstroDAO.
governance to Astro, yeah, but basically it's Astro. The governance of the Metapool will be for the community. So what is the meta token for? For governance over Metapool. So the own community can define how we'll move Metapool, because it will be coded in this way. It is coded.
Oh, I see.
Okay, it is coded on this way. So we are working very close with the AstroDAO team, asking where the updates of user interface will be done. They are working very hard for having all these updates. But in some moment, what you will have, you will be a meta holder, and you will have your meta tokens. You will go to AstroDAO, look what proposals exist over Metapool. This can be protocol update, moving of prices, a change of the code. Anything of this will be defined by the voting of the community. So you will be there, and you can use your token for both. This is the part that gives value to meta tokens, the opportunity of being the owner of the protocol.
Right. That's what community owned means. So guys,
Yeah.
if you're holding meta tokens, you again can participate in shaping metapool to what it can be. Yeah, right. So I guess because our meeting time is only up until 10 p.m., just an hour. Uh, we're
We
really. Oh yes, yes.
we have a last question if
Oh yeah, sure.
we
Yes.
have time.
Okay. Okay.
For example, Metapool is now a DAO. If I'm a staker on Metapool, does that give me a right to vote and express my thoughts and concerns? You can express your thoughts and concerns in any moment. Feel
Mm,
free to raise your hands and say, hey, you are doing something that doesn't look very well, of what we can do better. In any moment, please do that. That will help us a lot. Even we have some of these forms to give us feedback. But yes, when you stake your news or use any tool of Metapool, you will have your meta tokens, and this will give you a way to vote on the DAO. So
mm.
that's basically how this works. You use Metapool, you are part of the community, you win your meta tokens, and this gives you way to vote in the DAO to take decisions over Metapool. That's it.
All right. I actually just have one quick question based off of that same question that just was just asked right now. So you know how governance sometimes, right? It depends on it can either be weighted or full democratic. The weighted depends. You have more voting power if you hold more. Let's say you have a lot of tokens. Is that how Metapool will work, or is it purely like democratic?
I don't get it. So the more tokens that you have, the more weight
Yes, in
that you
some
have
in
in the
some
voting
DAOs,
policy.
right? Yeah, the more tokens you own or you're holding, the more weight your vote begets. So
Yeah.
will that be the case for Metapool as well, or will it be purely everybody, no matter how much tokens they're holding, gets one vote?
Um, Basically, how it is working by code, the Sputnik, is that you have more tokens, you have more weight power,
All right.
more voting power. Sorry.
All right. All
So
right.
you have more tokens, you have more voting power. I'm not sure that we haven't talked about this inside of the team of how are we going to distribute this democracy. There is
Yes.
there is many kinds of democracy and voting mechanism. So we can define that by code, but I think we haven't had this talk yet. So it's something that will have to come in the coming days. We first need to have all everything set up in AstroDAO to be working on this, and the update of voting policy is something that can be relatively doing fast, can be done fast. So I think in the coming days that will be announced. It's a good question to even ask to other members of the team. I will take that question.
Yes. Yes. Please. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Um. Anything else, guys? Any final questions that you want to ask before um we end this AMA session of ours? Any more? What are the rewards? Sir Prince, what do you mean by what are the rewards? Rewards in for
What
staking on Metapool, rewards for participating in the DAO.
open as that, you can have rewards by staking. On staking, you can have rewards from the staking. When you're staking, you're winning meta tokens, and you're winning,
Yes,
and you
ST.
increase the value of your STNR tokens that you have back at the moment that you start staking.
Mm,
So these are the two tokens that you are winning when you are using Metapool, STNR and meta tokens.
yes. And once you have meta tokens, it gives you governance. It gives you access to governments under DAO. I personally have
Okay.
another project, a Hispanic
Yeah.
marketplace for NFTs.
Just for closing, if somebody wants to know, I have another project, but
Yes.
I think that's not the point for the recording. But
Yeah, I
it's
can.
it's okay. If somebody have this, if you want to know more about native NFT, also can look at that. But I think if we don't have more questions about Metapool, I think we are done.
We're good. Yes. Thank you so much for this time, Alan. I'm sure the community appreciates it, and we are looking forward to hearing from you again. Maybe you giving us updates on the state of Metapool down the line in maybe a one-on-one interview or another AMA session if you have some time again in the future. We would really love to hear how Metapool is progressing.
Yes, feel free if any moment. Uh, Say Clara that you want support of these kind of things. If Claudio can't because of something, we are
Yeah.
also there.
Yes.
So feel free to ask Clara, and Clara will arrange any kind of for doing this AMAs.
All right. So thank you very much for your time, Alan. Really appreciate it. On behalf of Near Protocol Philippines, we wish you a good day there and that you continue to stay safe.